Are Shivlingas ancient nuclear reactors? The debate over ancient aliens in India. The Shivlinga is a sacred symbol in Hinduism representing the god Shiva, but is it possible that these statues were also ancient nuclear reactors built by extraterrestrial beings? Are Shivlingas ancient nuclear reactors? This theory, while controversial, has been put forward by some researchers. In this article, we'll explore some evidence and arguments for and against the theory that the Shivlinga is an ancient nuclear reactor, as well as a connection between ancient aliens and India. So let's try to answer the question, are Shivlingas ancient nuclear reactors? The Shivlinga nuclear reactor theory, that the Shivlinga was used as a nuclear reactor, is based on the fact that many of these statues exhibit signs of extreme heat and radiation. Some researchers have noted that the stones used to make the Shivlingas is often discolored and have been fused together, which they believe is evidence of intense heat and radiation. Additionally, some researchers have noted that the stones used to make the Shivlinga are often radioactive, which they believe is further evidence of their use as nuclear reactors. Critics of the theory, however, point out that the signs of heat and radiation could be explained by natural causes, such as volcanic activity or exposure to radioactive minerals. Additionally, they argue that the ancient Indians did not have the technology to build and operate nuclear reactors, and that the idea of ancient aliens visiting India and building such reactors is highly speculative. Ancient aliens in Indian texts. The concept of ancient aliens visiting India is not a new one. Many ancient texts such as the Ramayana, Mahabharata, and the Vedas contain stories of flying machines, advanced technology, and even genetic engineering, which can be interpreted as references to ancient aliens. Some researchers believe that these texts are not mere legends, but are in fact accounts of real events. However, the majority of mainstream scholars believe that these texts are simply myths and that the idea of ancient aliens visiting India is not supported by any concrete evidence. Criticisms of the theory, despite the lack of concrete evidence, the theory that the Shivlinga were ancient nuclear reactors continues to be a topic of debate among researchers and scholars. Some argue that the idea is a fringe theory that is not supported by mainstream scientific evidence, while others believe that it's a legitimate theory that deserves further investigation. Alignment of the Shiva temples. It's worth noting that there are several important Shiva temples in India that are believed to be aligned in a straight line. Some researchers and scholars have suggested that this alignment of temples is not a coincidence, but rather evidence of advanced ancient technology and knowledge of astronomy and geography. They argue that the ancient Indians must have had a sophisticated understanding of astronomy and geography to be able to align these temples in such a precise manner. Ancient alien connection in India. The idea of ancient aliens visiting India is not a new one. Many ancient texts in India contain stories of flying machines, advanced technology, and even genetic engineering, which can be interpreted as references to ancient aliens. Some researchers believe that these texts are not mere legends, but are in fact accounts of real events. Additionally, there are several ancient structures and artifacts in India that have been found to have astronomical alignments, suggesting a deep understanding of astronomy among the ancient Indians. However, the majority of the mainstream scholars believe that these texts are simply myths and that the idea of ancient aliens visiting India is not supported by any concrete evidence. They argue that the advanced technology and flying machines described in these texts are the product of the ancient Indians' imagination, and that there is no evidence to suggest that such technology actually existed in ancient India. So in conclusion, the theory that the Shivlinga was used as an ancient nuclear reactor is highly speculative, a speculative one that is not supported by mainstream scientific evidence. The signs of heat and radiation on the Shivlinga statues can be explained by natural causes, and there is no evidence to suggest that the ancient Indians of India had the technology to build and operate nuclear reactors. Similarly, the idea of ancient aliens visiting India and building such reactors is also highly speculative and lacks concrete evidence. The alignment of Shiva temples is an intriguing phenomenon, but it's important to remember that there is currently no concrete evidence to support the theory that the ancient Indians had the technology or knowledge to align these temples in such a precise manner. Additionally, the idea of ancient aliens visiting India and influencing ancient Indian culture is also a highly speculative one without concrete evidence. It's important to approach the question, are Shivlingas ancient nuclear reactors, with an open mind and consider all the available evidence before coming to any conclusions. This is on Infinity Explorers by Anj Srivastava. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box